We're at the edge of the MH17 crash site.
Не стреляйте!
Pinned down by someone I can't see and wondering how to escape.
Okay, there's been some shooting. We're just laying low at the moment. There's firing going on all around us. We need to get out of here. Our journey had started 3 days earlier in far less hazardous circumstances. We leave early for the drive into the rebel stronghold of Donetsk.
Pleased to meet you.
Very nice meeting you as well.
Where are you from, Will?
I'm from Norway. I work for Human Rights Watch.
Great.
Yep.
Okay.
And how about yourself?
From Australian television, SBS.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not long before we're out of the city of Petropavlovsk, and it seems out of luck with the van. It's the last thing you want as you approach a war zone. The driver doubles as a good mechanic, and eventually we're underway again. So we've just passed through the last Ukrainian military checkpoint, just a few kilometres back. We're now about 35-40 kilometres to the south-west of Donetsk, and we're about to come across the first Separatist checkpoint. So we'll need to finish this filming up now because we can't be filming anywhere near them as we go through, or we'll be hauled out of the car and taken in for questioning. So hopefully we'll be in Donetsk in the next 35-40 minutes. We get through the Separatist checkpoint and keep heading east. Ole Solvang from Human Rights Watch is a good contact. He's been monitoring the conflict since it began, based in Donetsk.
I just came there, came out of there 2 days ago, but the situation is growing increasingly tense, and we see more and more violations, more and more use of indiscriminate weapons, so we need to get back there and document that.
What did you see happen immediately in the days after the crash?
Well, we had been hoping that the plane crash would lead to some sort of perhaps pause in the fighting, but we didn't see that. You know, it was almost the opposite.
Driving into Donetsk is a strange experience. It seems peaceful, but 2 months ago I was here as the region descended into chaos. Even a few weeks back, no one imagined that this ugly, localised conflict could have such a global impact. But the downing of MH17 left nations in mourning and thrust Australia into the heart of a violent and unpredictable war. You soon see the rebel presence here. They say they'll fight to the death to hold this city, and that crucial battle may not be far off. The government is already on the offensive, retaking towns and villages.
Попробуйте.
Не то, что как бы именно конкретно, но вот по этой дороге, по центральной.
The next day, we've swapped the van for a car. There's a lot of travelling ahead through dangerous territory. But first, I've heard that I will find people here, fleeing the fighting that's going on in towns and villages outside the city.
So this is Donetsk Central Railway Station. As you can see, there's a lot of people milling about already trying to get a train out of here. There's only about a dozen trains out of here in the next 24 hours, and unfortunately all the tickets have been sold.
Мы 4 дня просидели в подвале, практически днями и ночами, потому что очень сильно идут обстрелы. То это просто здесь оставаться, по-моему, особо бесполезно. Вот сейчас вы тоже слышали, здесь слышны взрывы. Страшно очень.
Behind the railway station was an incident we couldn't film, and a reminder of how things can turn nasty very quickly. when a militant demanded our crew's passports.
He got very angry and ordered us to go to the cellar, to their prison. After we refused, he said to get out of there. You filthy Ukrainians, get out of there as soon as possible. And he threatened us to shoot at us if he finds us again. And he said his memory is very good.
Just down the road, we find more evidence of the conflict.
So we're about a kilometre from downtown Donetsk, and as you can see behind me, a building has been hit by a missile. This was a missile attack that took place yesterday, we believe by the Ukrainian military. And just up behind me here, the missile has hit a residential building, and unfortunately one man was killed. It's an example of the indiscriminate shelling that's been taking place in and around Donetsk.
In this city under siege, there's violence at every turn. Ole Solvang from Human Rights Watch is investigating another incident.
So somebody died on this spot last night?
It was actually this morning. One person was killed and 3 people injured. So we're going to see if we can find any evidence of what happened to them. This looks like a shrapnel from an artillery shell. Much more likely seems to be that an artillery shell fell here and then the shrapnel hit the bus that was driving by on the road. It seems quite random where these artillery shells land.
So with the shrapnel, can you determine what sort of, where it came from, or who was responsible? Not by the shrapnel itself. The problem here in this conflict is that both sides use the same kind of weapons. There is, an initial presumption perhaps that it is the Ukrainian army that is firing into separatist-controlled areas.
At a nearby hospital, Ole tracks down the survivors.
Okay, so the doctor said it was okay?
Yeah, we got the пропуск, so...
И такой, как дало, придавило на колени, мгновенное оно тут возле шахты. А только, что один раз бахнуло, что секунда деловой, все. С меня как с ручья, он сейчас только штаны выкинул, все в крови было.
Спасибо.
Спасибо.
What did you learn in there?
I think it confirmed what we already kind of knew from the scene. No military vehicles, nothing, no checkpoints nearby, any reason why there should be an attack there. So this looks very much like an unlawful attack that killed 1 civilian and injured 4 people.
After the hospital visit, my translator and I sit down to plan a visit to the crash site. It's easier said than done. There's heavy fighting. We check with the mayor of Petropavlovsk.
Здравствуйте, Наталья.
She's trapped in the middle of the conflict.
Если бы мы сейчас приехали на место крушения самолета, то мы могли бы туда подойти? Или там, скажем, настолько опасно и, я знаю, заминировано, говорят?
Опасно будет доехать.
Natalia, the mayor, has a remarkable story to tell. Her townspeople have been stockpiling material from the crash site.
А в самом деле очень много обломков самолета и личных вещей пассажиров, сумки, чемоданы, рюкзаки. А сейчас нет, поэтому все вещи остаются, те, которые после отъезда МЧС люди находят и приносят, они просто остаются у нас в здании сельского совета. Знаете, страх, паника и большая боль для погибших теперь еще изменились страхом и паникой за свои жизни и за своих детей.
We're determined to visit Natalia and see the material they've collected.
So we're on our way to the crash site. We left Donetsk about 40 minutes ago, and we've only had one checkpoint where they've actually stopped and checked our documents. The fact that we're Australians seemed to get their attention, and they were quite polite, told us to be very careful.
There's supposed to be an exclusion zone around the crash site, but we can hear the unmistakable rumble of artillery fire in the distance. The shelling is causing fires.
Что там? Там стреляют. Жопа, да? Нас развернули. Развернули. Там, блядь, выскочили с автоматами.
Давай. Channel 9's just been stopped down the road there by what they described as a crazy gunman, so we're not going to go any further down there. You can see out here in the field there's wreckage from the plane crash just here. But look, we've got to go. It's far too dangerous at this point to proceed. Okay, let's go.
As we drive further, there are more fires. This road seems okay and Natalia's village is not far, but now there's a problem.
Okay, so we're just coming up to a, looks like a fallen tree or something. We don't know. It's blocking the road, so we don't think we can go any further.
I get out to take a look. It seems like a trap, and it is.
Okay, there's been some shooting. We're just laying low at the moment.
Не стреляйте! Мы телевидение. Телевидение. Предлагаю аккуратно, блядь, перебраться к машине. Наверное, блядь, уедут.
Ага.
Не стреляйте! Что, пойдем?
Ага. Okay. There's firing going on all around us. We need to get out of here. All right, so we just keep going. We're keeping our heads down. The driver's taken his shirt off. He's waving it outside the car. Okay, so we're going to head back. We've just been right on the periphery of the town of Petropavlovsk, but clearly there's too much fighting going on. This is right in the crash zone of MH17. We're going pretty fast, and hopefully within a few kilometres we'll be outside of the danger zone.
We're still shaken by the ambush when we run into this, a separatist checkpoint. With the rebels blamed for the downing of MH17, it's a chance to get their view of what happened. Their commander's codename is Bear.
Но судя по тому, как украинская сторона подходит к этому вопросу, то наше мнение твердо, убеждены в том, что это все устроила украинская армия.
Bear is no fool. He knows the Ukrainian army is closing in on his position, but doesn't seem concerned.
Что вы думаете, что будет следующее?
Следующее, будем крошить их, как тараканов. Будут они бежать к себе туда домой, а мы за ними.
While we are forced to pull back, a convoy of European monitors, the OSCE and the Australian Federal Police, have taken another route. They drive past rebels and onto the site.
This my guy? It looks like a guy, yeah. Okay, important now that we keep together as a group.
But even as they are about to begin, a remarkable citizens' effort to uncover the truth about what happened to MH17 is underway. And it's through social media that a revealing picture is starting to emerge. The Buk missile launcher, which is believed to have brought down the plane, was sighted around 9 AM here in Donetsk.
So eyewitnesses report the missile launcher moving down here along Ilichia Avenue and then turning right here into Shakhterstроительный Boulevard, where it eventually made its way eastwards out of the city. This man says he saw it go past, but such is the climate of fear in this city, he doesn't want to be identified.
Просто я уже вплотную, воочию увидел, собственно говоря, что собой представляло это транспортное средство. Значит, это было на гусеничной основе, скажем так, зенитно-ракетная установка. То есть на тот момент у меня не было, скажем так, оснований не понимать этого. Значит, где были, вот, так сказать, 4 достаточно весомых ракеты установлены.
He also says he checked what he saw on the internet.
То есть при первом же поисковом запуске зенитно-ракетные комплексы основные я сразу обнаружил и увидел. То есть у меня не было абсолютно никаких сомнений.
After starting in Donetsk by 11:40 a.m., it was filmed further east in the town of Zurez. Approximately 20 minutes later, it was photographed in the nearby Torres. At 1:30 p.m. it was sighted at Snizhny, now off its transporter. There's speculation the missile was fired from somewhere near there. The plane disappeared from radar at 5:15 p.m. This video, time unknown, shows the missile launcher back on its trailer and heading through the town of Lugansk, north of Snizhny. One missile is missing.
We wanted to follow the missile launcher's trail and question people in those towns, but heavy fighting there made it far too dangerous to try. So it's about 7 o'clock in the morning here in Donetsk, and we're about to leave the city to go to the crash site. Because of the trouble we had the other day, we're going to go in convoy with the OSCE, which is the only safe way to travel into the site.
The war is never far away. There's a negotiation required every few kilometres. Eventually, we reach the site. And the Australian Federal Police move in. The world has now seen many pictures like these, but to be here is a moving experience. As the war continues, investigators face a long and arduous quest for the truth and a measure of justice for the victims of this unspeakable act.